So long as Democrats occupy the executive branch, run the State Department, and continue to diminish our warfighting capability in our armed forces, I don't expect China will be held accountable for their role in unleashing the China virus on our world. Is that a fair assessment on my part?
Oh, I think it's a completely fair assessment. And to piggyback on my friend Bob Spalding's remarks, not only should we investigate this, we need to take it right on to all the relationships that are sitting inside of our government with the People's Republic of China and the CCP, because what happens is we don't get transparency, and it's getting very dangerous for us. It certainly costs us economically.
I, too, would like to know how many people in our government are supporters of Communist China. Meanwhile, China is growing more emboldened. Taiwan's Ministry of National Defense reports that China has sent 18 nuclear-capable bombers to harass Taiwan in the span of 24 hours. It's a record number. Former Trump Deputy National Security Advisor KT McFarland telling us yesterday everything's going to China's plan. Watch.
Pentagon's war-gamed conflicts that we have with China over Taiwan, for example. We don't win those wars. Why? Because our military isn't what it should be, particularly our Navy. The emphasis on the woke agenda throughout our military has meant that warfighting capabilities have fallen off.
All right. What is it going to take, General, besides getting rid of every Democrat in government, in my opinion, to ensure that America can be a sufficient deterrent to the most racist, genocidal, and inhuman regime on planet Earth?
Well, you've got all my friends on today. So to Katie's point, it gets to the exact same place. What we have to do is have accountability here at home and find out what the relationships are to China. If we look at China, there is a great economic decoupling because of their own economic woes. And we've actually got to get to the transparency of this because, to her point, they're showing absolutely no loss of zeal for what's going on in Taiwan. And now, to what the bombers are doing there, China has a heck of a problem on their hands. This is not a clear-cut defense problem for them. And they know full well that Taiwan has its own organic capabilities that could inflict great damage there. That does not mean that China, backed into an economic corner, being accused of this COVID crisis around the world, won't take steps to take the heat off the CCP.
Last thing I have for you, there's this editorial from The Hill suggesting that retired senior military officers like yourself should not engage in partisan politics. Of course, by partisan, the author means conservative. He cites the Ronald Reagan National Defense Forum's annual survey, which says that the percentage of Americans who had a great deal of trust in the American military declined from 70% to 48% in the last 5 years. His solution, quote, ban retired flag and general officers from speaking to political conventions. Senior retired military personnel also should be prohibited from signing letters in support of political parties or candidates, from organizing others to do so, and from partisan appearances in traditional and social media. General, in my view, our military veterans didn't put their lives on the line so they could have their First Amendment rights stolen as a reward for their sacrifice and service. What say you?
You've taken the words right out of my mouth. So we've got someone who's been a policy wonk their entire career, who's joined by other policy wonks and swamp creatures to say that if you have put your life on the line for this country and been loyal to the United States and defended our Constitution, and your feeling after your career is that your oath of office to the Constitution has no expiration, that you should stand down on some of your liberties, even though you put your life on the line. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. And the other part of it is we need our graybeard military leaders right now because our country is going through so much. And we have so many really talented senior officers. Where I would look is to active duty ranks who have politicized some of their dealings on active duty. And let's look at that three-legged stool called, vax mandates, woke policy, a very politicized policy, and on and on and on. This is where retention and recruitment and trust in the military has gotten weak. I say huzzah to all the graybeards, both liberals and conservatives, who want to stand in there for our nation still, and we're not going away.
Hear, hear. General Holt, thank you very much for the service of the country, and a Merry Christmas, sir. Coming up, Iowa